Hey y'all, and welcome to my channel. I'm Paige Feldman. I'm a writer and director, and I make romantic comedies that are raunchy and feminist and sex positive and pretty dang awesome. And today I want to talk to you about my latest project to release, How to Fall in Love the Hard Way. It's an audio romantic comedy series about three women in their 30s who form an unlikely friendship, especially considering one of them is engaged to the other's ex-boyfriend. And they all band together to figure out love and career and following your passions and finding yourself in your 30s. This project is really special to me because it's 2023 now, but I got the idea for it in 2016 and it started to become a reality actually during COVID. So before I tell you all about the excitement of the release, I want to bring you back in time and tell you how it all came to be. So in July of 2020, height of COVID, height of lockdown, I finally finished Interrobang, my short-form comedy anthology, which is now available on Sika TV. And as any filmmaker or artist, and if you're watching this and you are one, I'm sure you can relate, I finished this project and then I was like, well, hey, what's next? I was just itching, ready to go, ready to make something again. Because I've been writing a lot, but hadn't really made anything. And a few things at that point converged for How to Fall in Love the Hard Way to come into existence. The first is that I got insanely lucky, and Script Notes, the podcast about screenwriting and things interesting to screenwriters, hosted by John August and Craig Mazin. So I'm a premium subscriber to it, and I responded to a call for, hey, we need a contestant for a live show we're doing on YouTube. Put your hat in, premium subscribers, if you want it. And I did, and I won. And I got to be a guest on their show with Ryan Reynolds and Phoebe Waller-Bridge, which was super freaking exciting. As exciting as meeting them and talking to them was, I'm sure they, first of all, would not remember me at all right now. Hopefully, like, we can meet again and we can, banter about it sometime in the future. But the thing that was the most important about that is what John August asked me to do. So, and it wasn't not fangirl. What he asked me to do is to record my audio via an internal microphone on my computer, or an external microphone, but a microphone that I had in my vicinity and was able to record it to send to him so that he could edit the footage together for the audio version of the podcast, because he said it sounds so much better than Zoom. So I did that, and I had my cheapo headphones that has this little microphone. That's all I had at the time. I have a nice Rode mic on my camera right now, and I also have a nice microphone that I can hook up to my computer for audio recording as well. But at the time, all I had were these headphones with this little buddy right here. So I recorded that, and it actually sounded great on the podcast. So that was number one. Number two is I got into Twitter a lot. Screenwriting Twitter during pandemic was the heyday of screenwriting Twitter. It was amazing. Right now, everything's dying thanks to King Tesla asshole. But it was a great way to meet people and connect, especially in a time when it was really difficult to meet people and connect. So there was a writer at the time who I believe was between gigs, and her name was Emily Schmidt, and she offered a class in sitcom writing. And just to give an idea of, Emily's super talented and amazing, and she writes on Ghosts now, which is an amazing, amazing show, one of my favorites on air. You should all check it out if you haven't watched it yet, and if you like comedy at all, which I hope you do. So anyway, Emily offered a class in pilot writing, and while I have a film degree from USC, my comedy pilot class that I took while I was there was taught by someone who was so experienced and so amazingly talented that I don't think she remembered what it was like to not know how to write to that form. So I had a sense of how to vaguely structure a show. But what Emily did was just break down the structure and show you how to write a beat sheet, how to ensure that your beats were in the correct places, that you had your A storyline and your B storyline, what a C storyline is, what a runner was. All of these little technical things that I kind of had a vague notion of, but I didn't know how to execute them. So I took that class and I wrote a pilot in it. And when I was done with that pilot, I was like, oh, that's fun. But I love it. And I've actually adapted it into a short that I'm hoping to make at some point in the future. But that pilot was very visual. And I couldn't make a visual thing in July of 2020. It just wasn't in the cards. So anyway, after I took that pilot class and realized I wrote a great pilot that I literally couldn't film and I still had that itch to make something, I thought again about this story that I had originally ideated, I think, in 2015, and then started to really work on in 2016. And I'd written a feature version of it, which didn't work at all. I'd written a pilot of it that I liked, but it just wasn't quite clicking for whatever reason. But I loved the characters. I loved the dynamic. I loved the situation. And I kept coming back to it. I knew there was something special there. I just hadn't figured out how to make it pop. But I thought, hey, I have this pilot class. I know what pilot structure is. Maybe if I go and look at this again, I'll be able to figure it out. And I'm so glad I did. Because number one, reading that, I realized right away what my problem was. It was I didn't know structure, but now that I knew it, it was just clear as day how to fix it. So I re-outlined it and rewrote it. And as I was rewriting it, I noticed something else. And this is where the thing with script notes came into play. So that the dialogue was the star of this script. It was so crackling and just punchy and energetic, and all of the characters and their traits were coming out through what they were saying. This script kind of was meant to be performed as an audio drama or an audio romantic comedy. And that's despite the title at the time, which was that untitled comedy pilot with a one-armed dentist and full frontal male nudity. And in the audio version, there is still a one-armed dentist and there is still full frontal male nudity, but that's all left to your imagination. I thought this lent itself to audio, and because John August showed me how easy it was to record my audio remotely for a podcast that's like mega uber popular, why couldn't I engage actors who had their own microphone, even if it was this little microphone, and get us all around a Zoom and record scenes as if we're recording a film? We're just all in our separate little bubbles in our rooms doing this work. So I'd luckily been saving up some money. I had recently gotten rejected from one too many contests and decided, you know what, these aren't working for me. And to break myself of the contest habit, I decided that every time I saw a contest I could enter, I was going to take that amount of money and set it aside in my savings. And after 6 months, I had $1,400, which is nuts. But that money became my budget for making How to Fall in Love the Hard Way, which is the title that I came up with. I don't know how. It was like divine inspiration, because it's a great title and I'm usually terrible at titles, or something just comes to me and I roll with it. And so this came to me, I rolled with it. And I also rolled with the fact that I saved up a ton of money from not entering contests, because holy frick, the amount of money you could spend on contests is ridiculous. In 6 months, like $1,400. So I took that $1,400 and I created a budget. I figured out how many days I would need to record, what I could offer to pay people based on that, and also what I would need to pay myself for, not for money, but use to pay things like sound effect fees and pay for music, because I can't compose music, but I have a friend who can. So I created a budget based on the money I had, and then I started casting over the internet. Had people go on tape, did callbacks over Zoom, and found my just amazing and talented and just the best cast. These people are so, like, it was a dream to work with all of them, and they just brought these characters to life so much. And we recorded October 2020, released the episode November 25th, 2020, which was my birthday. This cast is so talented and so giving and wonderful that I became inspired. I didn't want to stop. And suddenly these characters that I'd been living with had more layers and personality from the things that the actors brought to it. And I suddenly could see clear as day where the story was going, because I'd always known that it was going to be a sort of limited series, or, you know, if season 1 would be its own contained thing, and then season 2 I had another idea for maybe. I just wrote the remaining 9 episodes of season 1. I went to the cast, obviously, and said, are y'all with me? And they said, yes, we would love to do more of this. So I wrote the remaining 9 episodes, and throughout 2021, we recorded them all. 2022, I started editing. There were setbacks. I wish I had been able to release these episodes in 2022, but things happened, and as this print that I bought as a present to myself for releasing these episodes, things take the time they take. So finally, after all of that time and all the speed bumps and a lot of love and work, I am finally, and I'm so excited, I'm finally able to announce that How to Fall in Love the Hard Way episode 2 is out. It's been released. I'm not even announcing that it's happening. It's done. We're out there. And episode 3 is coming in just a couple weeks. You can listen to it now. Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, wherever you listen to podcasts, or you can go to our RSS feed at listen.howtofallinlovethehardway.com. And I'll put all of those links in the episode description. In addition, I've also decided to put the pilot on YouTube. The pilot's also available on the podcast apps, on the RSS feed, and I would, for statistical reasons, I'd prefer if y'all would listen to it there, maybe rate, review, subscribe. But I know that it's really difficult to switch platforms, and some people just love YouTube for podcasts. So I'm linking the pilot, and I'll put that up in the card after this video is over, in the end screen. I also, in order to whet your appetite right now, I have a trailer for episodes 2, 3, and 4, which are going to be releasing in succession every 2 weeks, because that's what I can get away with my current hosting plan in terms of the length of the episodes and how much time I'm allowed to upload. So here you go, as a treat. Enjoy the trailer. Thank you all so much for watching. Thank you all so much for listening. And I hope that you all fall in love with Claire and Mona and Harper and Andrew and maybe Jack, and definitely Gross Jean, as much as I have and as much as I've had fun making it. I hope you've have fun and enjoy listening to my romantic comedy audio series. Thank y'all. I'll see you next week. Hey everyone, it's Paige Feldman, the writer and director of How to Fall in Love the Hard Way, and I have some great news. Thanks to the enthusiasm of you, our listeners, and the enthusiasm and dedication of the entire cast and crew, all 10 episodes of How to Fall in Love the Hard Way, Season 1, have been recorded and are in post-production. And what's more, episodes 2, 3, and 4 are ready for release. They'll be dropping bi-weekly, that's every other week, starting March 7th. So get ready for more Claire.
The thing is, I don't want you to think I'm some sort of prude.
No.
I have had plenty of sex. I'm a modern woman. I think sex is great.
Okay.
Not that I go around asking for it all the time indiscriminately or having one-night stands.
Sure.
I mean, I have had, well, no.
It's okay.
But I mean, if you or anyone, whatever people want to do with their bodies is great. And I have had a normal amount of sex.
More Harper.
I met your ex-girlfriend Claire and her friend Mona, and they invited me to record a podcast with them about wedding planning, and I said yes, and we're going to do it while you're playing games with your friends.
What? Jack, look out!
More Mona.
It's an overnight bag, Jean. There's a toothbrush, a change of clothes for work tomorrow, and a deep sense of self-loathing.
More Gross Jean.
Also, I don't think of your clit as a pig. If it was, kashrut laws would make what I'm about to do strictly verboten.
And more general hijinks as our heroines help each other navigate their 30s and figure out love, friendship, and finding their passions.
First comes love, next comes marriage, then comes baby with the baby. Oh my God, are you pregnant?
What? No? Oh my God, if I was, my baby would have fetal alcohol syndrome after tonight.
Hit subscribe so you don't miss any new episodes of How to Fall in Love the Hard Way, coming March 7th, 2023. Available right here or wherever you listen to podcasts.
Does anyone want to give me a ride to the office so I can get fired?
I'll give you a ride.
Seriously, Jean?
I am serious. I can give you a ride. In my car. I'll take you in my car. Why is it coming out like that?
That's what she said! Oh, too loud.
Oh, and just one more thing. This is amazing. When we finished shooting at the end of 2021, We had a wrap party in like early 2022, and the cast all banded together to get me this microphone statue. It says, "A salute to the Colonel, how to fall in love the hard way." I love it. It sits up on my bookshelf right there. And if you want to know what a salute to the Colonel is, you got to listen to episode 1, because it's not what you think. All right, y'all. Thanks for watching.